For centuries, early Christians were fiercely divided. They could not agree on the very nature of Jesus himself. Was he supernatural God or a man of flesh and blood? Over the centuries, several major councils of bishops debated this, and by the early 5th century the Church agreed that Jesus was both a man and God, and that the 4 Gospels of the New Testament were the true accounts of his life and deeds. But why were just those 4 Gospels chosen over others? Outside the Bible, can we prove Jesus existed? And if he didn't exist, who created his story, and why? In 1999, Dorothy Murdoch argued that Jesus Christ never existed. She and authors like Timothy Freke and Peter Gandy say the story of Jesus is similar to older myths in Roman, Greek, Egyptian, and other ancient cultures. In other words, Jesus is just another folk hero. She was far from the first to say this. In the 1970s and 80s, Professor George Wells observed that the New Testament Gospels were written decades after Jesus' lifetime by people who, as far as we can prove, did not know him. Christopher Hitchens noted that there is no Roman record of Jesus' crucifixion, and the Roman census that brought Mary and Joseph to Bethlehem never took place. The Bible alone cannot prove Jesus' existence, because it is a theological text. The Bible's account needs to be corroborated by other independent historical sources. But in the 1840s, philosopher Bruno Bauer said that there are no other historical sources that match the Bible's story. He therefore concluded that Jesus did not exist at all. Yet, numerous other Gospels are known to have existed. Commonly called Gnostic Gospels, these texts were rejected by the early Church. They typically portrayed a much more human Jesus, a man who was very wise, but not divine. We only know what some of them said because of lucky discoveries of badly decayed scrolls hidden in the desert and caves. People who followed Gnostic teachings were labeled heretics because they did not support the teachings of the early Church. And when Emperor Constantine converted to Christianity in the early 4th century, these heretics went against the authority of Rome too. According to Dorothy Murdoch, these alternative Gospels were systematically destroyed in the 4th century upon the orders of Emperor Constantine. In AD 325, he convened the First Council of Nicaea, where it was finally decreed that Jesus was both God and man, part of the Holy Trinity. Murdoch says that with the Council of Nicaea, Constantine was really establishing a new, standardized faith system, one that taught that all other religions and denominations were heresy. In effect, he was joining the Roman Empire with the Christian Empire. This is because Jesus is a pacifying figure, teaching us to turn the other cheek and pay our taxes to Caesar. By destroying the old religions and the many, many pagan deities and replacing them with one all-powerful God, Murdoch says Constantine was implementing a new form of control over the poor and the world.